Hello and welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be having a look at installing this exhaust valve switch. I'm hoping that it's something that you all can do yourselves, but I might also be able to make a kit for you to be able to just buy it and install it. Something that we're going to look at. I've got to apologise for the state of the unit. It's a bit in a mess at the minute, but let's get on with it. So first job, we need to get the seat off so we can access battery, and then we need to get the tank off so we can access the SAI unit. Yeah, that took about 10 minutes. Quite an easy job, to be fair, especially when you've done it 20-30 times, that's for sure. But just one to be wary of: the connector for the fuel tank underneath the fuel sensor is very sensitive, so I'd recommend not putting it directly on the floor. It's at this side, but rest it on some boxes or something, but just be really careful with that. This is your SAI unit, and the connector for this is there. So for mine it's unplugged at the minute, but that's the connector, and that's what we're going to be wiring to, so we'll come back in a sec. So just for easier access, I've took the airbox off. It's not 100% needed, but it's definitely recommended. So here's the SAI again, and this is what we're working with. There's the unit, and surprisingly, when there's no power to it, the air is free to flow, so that is your SAI active, and when you provide the 12 volt to it, it closes. So what people usually do is they'll remap the SAI unit off the ECU and then put a marble in one of the pipes to block it off, because if you disable the SAI in the ECU, it just turns off the power, which means this is free flowing, so it's not actually off, so you still have to blank it. Obviously what we're doing, we're going to wire a switch so that we can provide a 12 volt flow to turn this or to close this on our demand, which will stop pops and bangs, and then when you turn the SAI off, it will enable the pops and bangs. Quite a controversial subject at the minute on the Triumph pages about whether this is healthy or not for your engine. These are actually quite a common item on motorbike engines and some car engines. Personally, I don't think there's a danger for it. I know people that's been running it open for thousands and thousands of miles with no cat on. But yeah, it's each to their own. I don't want to cause any arguments. We're going to be running it closed, and then on demand, when we want to be in a noise, we'll open it up. Bob, if you're watching, these are yours. What a coincidence, you've literally just commented I should be there for the 29th, hopefully. Must be a sprint clinic. Anyway, we're going to be using some wire to wire this in. Just a reminder that this is completely reversible, so if you do get fed up with it or you want to revert it back to standard, you can do. There'll obviously have to be some modifications to wires because we're about to cut this adapter off. You can get intercepting wires, intercepting connectors. That is an idea, something that I'll look at, but for me, I've just got a new connector that we're going to be using, so I'm going to whip this off with enough cable left so that we can wire it back on if we want to go back to standard. So this is the connector I've got, but it's not one that I'd recommend after installing it, so I'm going to find a better one for the permanent install, but just for this video. There you go. And here's a length of wire with another connector on the other side, and then at the other side of these you need a connection for the switch and one for your battery, which is powering this switch when I turn it on. So we just need to get the live from the middle of this switch, which will connect to this power cable, and then you need to ground the other one. The reason I'm not grounding back to this wire is this is directly to ECU, and if I'm quite honest with you, I'm not sure if the negative goes back to ECU or whether it goes to a ground distribution. I'm not willing to take that chance, so I'm just going to give it its own ground straight to battery. Right, we've got that wired in so we can test it. What I will say is need a bit thicker wire than this. The SAI has a much thicker one. It's like twice the size of the one I'm using, so I'll get you the size of that. But we've wired it up to a switch, and for now we're just touching negative terminal at battery to get a test. So we're going to turn on the bike, we'll turn on our dashboard, and when we flick this switch we should hear a noise in the unit, which we don't. I think that's because my ground cable, oh yeah, let me just put my ground cable back on. Fasten that back in, so let's go again. So ignition on, dashboard's on, there we go. Now let's put it back together and see what it does. Okay, so while the bike's warming up so we can test it, just one thing that I want to make sure you're aware of. I am by no means a professional. I do this just for fun, hobbies, DIY. So if you do this modification, obviously it's on you. If something goes wrong, please check that you're wiring everything correctly, you're using the right size wires and the best connectors. In this video I've just cheaped out, used what I've got, but the finished install, once I have finished, I'm going to buy proper battery connectors, proper side connector, and do it the proper way. I'm not saying the way that I've done it isn't going to work forever, it probably will, but just to be sure, definitely going to use a thicker wire, and I need to change the connectors because them push fit ones absolutely shite. So bike's warming up. An engine remap to disable the SAI unit so that it's permanently open. That way ECU's not throwing a dicky fit when you're turning it on and off. So it'll be disabled at ECU so it don't know it's got it. You can run it without a remap, but you'll have engine management light on like I have. Don't really bother me, but I am going to map it off shortly. you go. Switch turned on, closes the SAI valve and stops it from spitting, popping, and then turn it off and you get your flames again. Still got a bit of tuning to do on this bike. It's by no means perfect. It's certainly running rich, but it's running rich whether I've got SAI on or off. It's something I need to look at in the map file. Possibly just put a completely different map on it, because this one's just a tester. But yeah, that's I'm not end the video now, so let me know what you think, let me know if you give it a go, and I'll probably do another video with a bit more of a professional install and probably a better background. So at the minute I'm just down in storage unit. But yeah, thanks for watching.